It's not just, I'm taking these supplements, I'm eating this food, and I'm gonna be healed. And I was definitely feeling a bit nauseous. Welcome back, welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about protocol number 2. So it's the second phase of my leaky gut protocol. I am working with a nutritionist named Marissa. She's known as the Holistic Seedling on Instagram. So I am working with her. She is the professional, not me. So everything that I'm learning and doing is because of her. I did already do a video for the first phase of the protocol, and I'll link it somewhere here, and I'll definitely link it down below as well if you want to check it out. I basically went over like things that I'm doing, supplements I'm taking. So if you wanted to check that video out, I would recommend watching that one and then coming and watching this one. Today I'm just going to be talking about things that I'm doing, how I'm feeling, new supplements that I'm taking, just things that I've been learning as well. So let's get into it. So let's get into it. Each protocol that I'm doing is 4 weeks. I'm about like halfway through this second protocol. I'm just gonna read some things that she wrote. Basically this time we were still focusing on a lot of the same things. So like my food triggers, my digestion, detoxification, and now we're really trying to implement more probiotics, reducing inflammation, repairing the gut lining. And we did do a GI map test. I also went over this in my other video. It showed that I do have leaky gut, and some bacteria were low, some bacteria were high. I'm not doing a super strict like leaky gut protocol since I did discover that it's not as bad as I once thought, but I do have it. It's just not as extreme as I thought. And the food that I'm eating and not eating is really tailored towards me. So just keep that in mind when you're listening and watching to this video, that everything that I'm saying is specifically meant for me and my protocol, and yours might be different. You might need to take different supplements and different diet, things like that. So just keep that in mind. So she really wanted me to focus on the foods that I can consume versus like the foods that we want to like minimize and eliminate. So the foods that I can consume are things like good quality proteins, plenty of natural fats like from meats, olive oil, avocado, things like that, non-starchy vegetables. Obviously I try to get them fresh or frozen, and those are things like cabbage, cauliflower, eggplant, cucumber, lettuce, kale, things like that. Fresh fruit. She wanted me to really start implementing a lot of bone broth and fermented foods. The store-bought bone broth that I try to get, I either try to get something that says like free range or pasteurized or 100% grass-fed, things like that. When I'm looking for a store-bought bone broth, those are the things that I'm looking for. Kettle and Fire has some really good bone broth. She really wanted me to focus on fermented foods, so sauerkraut, kimchi, coconut yogurt, kefir, apple cider vinegar, kombucha, and things like that. So I've been getting a lot of sauerkraut and kimchi, and I've been drinking a lot of kombucha. So I'm really trying to get those fermented foods as much as possible. So with the fermented foods, it really encourages that growth of good bacteria in your gut and helps it like stay there. And with the bone broth is super healing. And with the bone broth, it helps with the healing of the gut lining. So those are two foods that I'm really focusing on during this time, as well as those other foods that I mentioned. And I eat very like paleo based, like whole foods, things like that. I'm not really having any trouble this time with the diet. So she said foods to minimize: nuts such as peanuts, cashews, pistachios, walnuts, and pecans. And she says this because a lot of the time they have like they can have a high amount of mold, and they also cause like mucus in the body if you eat too much of them. And I'm someone who eats a lot of nuts. These are things to just kind of like minimize so I don't have like too much inflammation in the body if I eat too much of those. So I'm eating nuts like a couple times a week. It's not like I'm not eating them at all. I'm just not eating them as much. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did a urine analysis to see the different toxins in my body. And I can do a whole nother video on that if you want. Let me know if you want to see that. But basically we did find out there is mold in my body, so us just trying to minimize that in different foods so that I'm not consuming it, if that makes sense. Other foods to minimize are starchy vegetables such as potato, parsnips, okra, yams, and turnips, legumes, chickpeas, bean sprouts, mung beans, soybeans and fava beans, alcohol, grains, natural sweeteners like maple syrup, coconut sugar, etc. If I were to cook something, she said that I can have honey or it's not like I can't have those natural sweeteners, but just to minimize it. So now, since it's like the holiday season, I'm baking a lot more with honey, dates, things like that, instead of coconut sugar and maple syrup. She also suggested that I have more herbal teas. Been having a lot of peppermint tea before bed, or like Earl Grey, and I still have matcha. Warm drinks throughout the day I think is really, this is just my opinion, but I think it's really beneficial to your gut and just your body in general. Getting some herbs in, drinking them, I think is a good way to get those in. So foods to completely avoid during this time, she suggested, was dairy, gluten, and processed sugar. And these are not things that I eat anyways, because I am pretty much paleo based. Obviously during the holiday season, it's a little bit harder to stay away from processed sugar. I'm just gonna try to make everything myself. I'm not accidentally eating anything or getting like cross-contaminated with gluten. That can definitely be a thing. So those are the foods that I'll be consuming a lot more of, or just minimizing. And she really wanted to emphasize not to get discouraged with the minimize part. And I like the way she worded it, because it's kind of hard to see something that's like, you can't have this, you have to avoid it. It's hard to see like a huge list of those things. She was definitely just saying that I needed to minimize those things. It's not like I can never have them, but just don't have them in excess. That's what I'm focusing on, and I'm really trying to focus on the foods that I can have, being more creative with recipes that way, so I'm not like super discouraged or anything doing this kind of diet, because I think some people have a hard time seeing the list of foods that they can't have and they get discouraged. But I think it's important just to focus on the foods that you can have. It's just, you'll have a better relationship with food that way, and it will be better for your mental state too. So that's something that I'm working on with this diet, and just trying to heal my gut, because it is kind of hard not being able to have anything that you want. So just wanted to touch a little bit on that. Now I'm going to talk about some supplements that I've been implementing and my experience with the supplements. So the first thing she wanted me to get is this GI Revive, and I got this on Amazon. I'll try to link it down below if you want, but basically this has some good stuff in it for your gut. It has L-glutamine, which is something that I used to take when I was going through my candida healing and gut healing on my own. I was taking L-glutamine. So it's nice to know that this has it, and it has a lot of other things in here like okra extract, chamomile extract, I think it's called quercetin. So all these things are supposed to be really good for your gut and the lining of it. So this is the one that she recommended me buying. So I have this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It doesn't taste bad. It has a peach flavor in it, so it's not the worst thing ever, and it tastes pretty good. The next thing is collagen. She's recommended this brand Vital Proteins, and this is collagen peptides made with grass-fed and pasture-raised beef, which is really nice. So I've just been having this in smoothies. She also suggested I could use it in baking, so I might try some recipes with that. Let me know if you want me to see if I can find some cool recipes with collagen. So this is the other one that she recommended, the Sarah Gold, and I'm just gonna read what she wrote about it, because I am not super familiar with this. This supplement should be taken between meals, half hour before or 2 hours after a meal. When a leaky gut is present, there are often food sensitivities and allergies, which I have. In this situation, antigens will bind to the immune cells, forming immune complexes. As they build and circulate in the body becomes overwhelmed. Food tolerance goes down and sensitivities drives up. So the proteolytic, I think that's how you pronounce it. So the proteolytic enzyme can help to break these down in circulating immune complexes, which lowers the inflammatory immune system load. This I did purchase on Fullscript. So I guess this just really helps with inflammation too. So it says supports cardiovascular, sinus, and systematic health. This is the new probiotic that I'm taking, the Mega Probiotic, and I got this off Amazon. This is Mega Probiotics. She warned me about this one. This one's pretty strong. You're not supposed to start out taking it every single day. You're supposed to take it every other day, and then every day, and then twice a day. So you have to like gradually build up. You're not supposed to just take 2 a day right off the bat. And I made the mistake of taking it every day, and I was definitely feeling a bit nauseous, and my stomach was cramping. I didn't really know what was going on. I thought it was something that I was eating, but no, it was this guy. So I'm doing it every other day with the largest meal. I actually need to take it today. Yeah, I need to take it tonight. keeping up with all these supplements, that's a whole nother thing too. So these are just the new supplements I've been taking. If you want to go to my protocol 1, those will be the other supplements I'm taking. I'll probably just do a separate video about all the supplements I'm taking at once. I'll probably do that at the end and then just say like these are all the supplements that I took. So be on the lookout for that. You can subscribe. If you want to see that, you can subscribe so you don't miss it. Just saying. But the last thing I want to talk about is the lifestyle recommendations. And we really talked a lot in our last session about some different types of therapies to maybe consider. I'm the type of person that believes the trauma that you've had in your life or even like past generations, things like that, you can store in your body. And so for me, I was thinking that I was storing them in my stomach area. And I mean, I definitely still have anxiety and I store that in different areas in my body too. And I can just like feel it. And we talked a lot about those types of things. And she said, explore therapies to work through past traumas. And these are people that could be like a Reiki practitioner, emotion code practitioner, somatic therapist. That would be really cool if I did that. I'm thinking about going to like maybe a Reiki healer. If any of you have experienced Reiki healing, let me know if you liked it. Let me know what you thought, because I want to check that out. Another thing that she said is practice positive affirmations. And so this is like me telling my body can digest food properly and take in the nourishment that it needs for the day. I would say things like, I am healing. I can already see transformation in my digestion, you know, making my soul feel good. I do think, you know, it's all about mind, body, soul, right? So what you're speaking is your reality. And so if I'm being like negative and saying negative things to myself, having negative thoughts, those are going to manifest in different ways. So I just want to be as positive as I can during this time. And I'm the type of person that kind of looks at other things in my life to give me affirmations and like make me feel good. I'm really trying to focus on giving myself what my body needs, what I need to hear. I'm not trying to get my best friend to tell me that. I'm not trying to get my boyfriend, my parents to tell me what I need. I'm telling myself what I need. I feel like just this process in general really makes you work on yourself in all aspects of life. It's not just, I'm taking these supplements, I'm eating this food, and I'm gonna be healed. It's really about what you're doing every single day, how you're talking to yourself, your thoughts in your mind. Everything is tied together. Does that make sense? Does that sound like too woo-woo? It's really made me think about things in the past and my life and the journey that I went through to get here. It makes you think about everything. That's just something to consider when going through any sort of health journey, is that you think it's just one thing and it's really not. It's like, oh, it's this thing that might have caused that or that thing. I'm definitely trying to work on myself from the inside out and just all aspects of my well-being, I guess. If you're going through this and it helps one of you, that's all I really care about, and I really do mean that. So if you're watching this and if you're going through a leaky gut protocol, candida cleanse, or you just don't really know what's going on and you're trying to find some answers, I hope this video helped you. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I'll definitely keep you posted on what's going on. Shout out to Marissa. I'll leave her information in the bottom. She's honestly amazing. If you want to reach out and work with her, I definitely recommend it. She has been just a huge blessing in this journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.